What's the YouTube? Dale here from Zephyr, and today, because you lot enjoyed the Dark World profile update so much, I thought I'd bring you a test and combo video for that entire profile so that you have a bit of an idea on how the deck wants to operate. Now, as you can see, I'm not in my normal environment. I'm actually away for work at this exact moment in time, but still thought I'd get you this video out for you on schedule. So, with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. Now, what we're going to do is exactly what I've been doing for my past test hands, where we'll do one test hand going first uninterrupted, talk about what type of interactions our opponent may or may not have, and then we'll do it again going first, but this time will be a little bit more negative in regards to the type of interactions our opponent has and how many resolve, and then we'll start going second, and usually when you're going second, your opponent's going to have a lot more interactions. So with a good old shuffle and a decent cut, our starting hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is actually like a really good hand. The biggest issue we've got is opening up the Gate of the Dark World, which I've already mentioned. It's going to be risk and reward. But what you need to do with a hand like this is you need ways of being able to discard. Now, if we didn't have the Genta and we had no other way of discard like a Danger or anything else, we'd be in a bit of trouble because we'd be stuck with cards. Like, this is why I don't like seeing Gate without anything in the graveyard, because if you get that scenario, you can't do anything. But what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to use Genta's effect here. This will give us the Gate of the Dark World. Now, this is where the biggest issue of hard opening up the gate really comes into play, is that you can't discard Genta again. So you still need to get another card to the graveyard. We'll be able to do that, so that's not that big of an issue because we do get snow and everything else in between. So you start off by activating your first Gate of the Dark World. Use the Gate of the Dark World to banish the Genta and then discard a card. And you've got a couple of different options here. We can discard the Rainbow. The benefit of this one will then let us get a direct access to our Silver, which is absolutely fine because then it means Snow can then get us access to Ceruli. But you still want the Ceruli to be discarded. Your other option is that we discard Snow. Snow gets us to the Ceruli. The benefit of that is that we then have Gates has the ability to discard a card, banish another one, and you could discard the Ceruli so that our Rainbow will then be able to trigger and get both effects. So this one will let us add a level 5 or higher, and then it will also let us, in addition to that, special summon a level 4 or lower Dark World from the deck or grave. So that could be quite useful for you as well. And considering that we don't really want to bring the Genta from the when we bring that Genta back to the field, we don't want to add it back to the hand because you've already opened up the second gate. It's absolutely fine to stay where it is. So I would actually go for discarding the Snow. In doing so, we get to draw a card off of the Gate of the Dark World. A session, perfectly fine. We now get to go Chenik 1 Snow, Chenik 2 Genta. Genta will summon itself back to the field. Snow will then let us grab any Dark World card from our entire deck. Now, if you want to be going for this hand rip, you do need access to Silver and access to Ceruli. So you kind of want to get Snow back into rotation, which would be, absolutely amazing. But because we've also now opened up the Dark World Session, we do have another way to get direct access to all of that, in the fact that we can actually utilize the Accession. You do need Grepher, but that would then allow us to use Accession to bring out the access to... That will give us the access to get another one off of the back of the Rainbow. So in this scenario, because I want to get another Snow to the field, I'm actually going to go directly for a Ceruli. And the reason for that one is, you get to activate a second Gate of the Dark World. You get to use the second Gate of the Dark World's effect, this time banishing the Snow, discarding the Ceruli, drawing a card for the resolution of the gates, gets a Mutant in the Sky, which is absolutely fine. Ceruli's effect will now go off. This will go to our opponent's side of the field. Always make sure you put it in front of the extra monster zone, because that's when you're going to want to try and put your Cassock to return this back to the hand. In doing so, Ceruli's effect will now trigger to make us discard the Rainbow. Now, at this position here, what we're going to get the benefit of is that we're going to be able to use Rainbow's effect, and we're going to be able to get both because it was discarded by the Ceruli. So not only will we get to add a level 5 or higher, and we're going to go for the Silver. You could go for Grepher if you want to protect a little bit more, but we also get the ability to get another level 4 to the field. Now, you can't really summon out the Ceruli because you can only special summon it once per turn by its banish effect, but you also want to be able to make sure as well, actually you don't just special summon it once per turn outright. So the card we're going to want to go for is going to be our Snow, which again is absolutely fine, because as long as you have a way to discard a card, which we will shortly do, you actually don't mind adding it back to the hand. So in this one, you can actually add this back to the hand to bring back the Rainbow. And then it's kind of up to you on where you'd want to push from here. Now, we don't have any direct discards, so that's where you might want to consider getting the graphite instead of the silver. But we do have ways to kind of create our own discard, which is absolutely fine as well. So the two options you currently have here is you can go into an Akashic. The Akashic would return the Ceruli, and then that's how you're going to try and push your silver through. But when you do it that way, there's not really a lot you can actually push through and do as of yet. So we still have it normal summoned, and that's where Snow's going to come into play. In an ideal scenario, you don't want to be using one of your Dark Worlds as a normal summon, but you do have that option to do so. So with that, what I'll do is I'm actually going to normal summon down the Snow. I'm going to overlay the Snow and the Genta. I'm going to put these both into number 60 Daguerres. We're going to use Daguerres' effect. We're going to detach. I always remember if it's detach 2. Yeah, it's detach 2. Detach 2, draw 2. 1, 2. That's what we wanted, is we wanted danger. We get 2 and then come along. And then we get to discard a card. So looking at this hand here, what would I want to discard? I'm actually going to discard the Rainbow. Now the benefit of doing that is we can now trigger Rainbow's effect. It's going to allow us to grab the Grepher, like that's the last piece you're missing to get everything you want going. And then this is the other benefit of having the Ceruli here. So what you want to do now is you want to go and make your Akashic, which is 2 monsters with the same type except tokens. We've got 2 Fiend monsters here, being the Rainbow and the Daguerres. This will go in the extra monster zone. This would return the Ceruli from the opponent's side back to your hand, which is really, really nice. So now we've got a whole hand of like 7 right now. So again, we've got more ways to trigger stuff should we want to. Is like we can activate the Accession. The Accession would allow us to discard the Grepher and then banish one from the graveyard. This would then set us up with a negate so that going forward, we've actually got the protection we need. You could also activate the Accession, and the benefit of doing this is I would discard both of these. I would discard the Grepher and the Silver. Now this will all make sense in a second, so don't worry about that. And that will allow us to go into Grepher Dragon Overlord. We're going to put it to the leftmost, right out of the way. In doing so, you would mandatory trigger Grepher as Chain Link 1 and we'll go Silver Chain Link 2. Silver will come back to the field, and then the benefit of this one is we can return Silver to the hand for Rainbow, and then Rainbow to the hand for Grepher. Now, what we can also do, now that we've got the Cerulean Silver play looped up into our hand, if we want the Accession back to the hand, you can actually use it to discard one of your Dark Worlds. We're not going to do that. We're going to set the Mutiny in the sky, and then what we're going to do is we're going to reveal a danger. So we're going to reveal Nessie, and because I'm away for work, I didn't bring a dice with me, which is very, very foolish, but that's just unfortunately the luck of it. So because there are 5 cards here, we're literally just going to pick the middle one. So whatever one it turns out to be. So the middle one will be this one here. It hits the Ceruli, which is pretty much perfect, but remember, even if it doesn't hit the Ceruli, you still have a Mothman to resolve. So you summon down your Nessie, you draw the card off of the Nessie, you then get to trigger the Ceruli again. Always put it in front of the extra monster zone just because you never know. There are ways you can go into, I think it's Security Dragon that will also allow you to return the Ceruli to the hand, which is also quite useful. But the other is we're now going to discard the Silver. Silver will summon itself back and then make our opponent put 2 cards from their hand back to their deck. So at the moment, our opponent currently has 3 cards in their hand, which is absolutely fine. The only way you can finish that off is if you draw into a Troll Tactics Thrust, so you're going to have to do that off of the back of your Danger Mothman, as that's the only one you've got left. Now, just have a quick look in the graveyard, just in case we've got anything. We do have a Rainbow, so we'll return this back to our hand for our Rainbow. I don't mind overlaying these 2 right now. I could, if I wanted to, go Akashic, Nessie. I mean, actually, yes and no. It doesn't make that big of a difference. Basically, you would go Buzz King. You'd use Buzz King's effect, detach the Grepher to look at your opponent's extra deck and take 1 from it. And then what we can do here is, if you want to, use the Accession Graveyard effect, discard the Silver. Silver's effect will summon itself back to the field. You then return the Silver back to the hand for the Grepher. Then I'll set the Accession because I don't want to lose it and I want to save it for during my opponent's turn. I still have Mutiny in this sky good to go, so I'm just waiting to fill up my graveyard for that. And then what we do is use Grepher, Nessie, Akashic, and Buzz King now that it's done all of its jobs. So use all of those, so that's 4 monsters with different names. You then go into Skulldred. Skulldred is going to let you draw 4 and put 3 back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Classic fashion. Genta can definitely go back. I don't mind keeping 2 Guardians because I can get both of them onto the field. I really would have liked to have seen a Triple Tactics Thrust or a Talent, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. do I need to go that much harder? I need to kind of get the Cerulli back to the field, back to my hand, which isn't that big of an issue, to be completely honest. Do I want to summon down the Guardian? I don't need to. I mean, I'm probably going to be better. So I've put 1 back. We'll put 2 back. We'll put 3 back. Okay, I want the dangers because I'm trying to dig for the Troll Tactics Thrust. Okay, that's what I'm aiming to do. So I'm not going to use Skuldred's effect to special summon as of yet. Of course, I could go into Guardian if I want to, but we want that Troll Tactics Thrust. So I'm going to reveal Jackalope. Just try and shuffle these up as well. We'll do the exact same thing. We'll go for the middle one. I could have kept the Accession, but I quite like the idea that if my opponent does like top deck a way to negate the Dark Grepher, I can then use Accession to go again. So we hit the Mothman, which isn't the one that we said we revealed, so we get to go into Jackalope. We resolve the Jackalope and draw a card. We then get to resolve off of Mothman, so both players will draw a card and then discard a card. Very nice. We will discard... see what I've got in the graveyard. I've got Rainbow and Grepher. So I should probably discard the Silver. And the reason for that is Silver will come back to the field. We can then return Silver back to the hand for Rainbow. Then return Rainbow back to the hand for Grepher. Like, this resource loop is an absolute joke. And now what we can do is we can use Sandwich Day. So this one is if you have a monster in your graveyard, which we do, we pay 200 life points, we draw a card, reveal it, then if it's a monster, apply the effect based on its attribute. So we draw it, it's not a monster, but it is the card we wanted. If it shares an attribute in the graveyard, you draw a card, but if it's... so an attribute not in your graveyard, you draw a card. An attribute that is in your graveyard, you discard a card. Obviously, it's not a monster, so we don't need to apply that effect. But now we get to use Troll Tactics Thrust. Our opponent still controls the Cerulli, so you're going to want to grab yourself the Troll Tactic Talents. The reason you do this is you activate the talents, you look at your opponent's hand, you get rid of the 1 card. Because remember, the Silver makes them put the cards back, so they choose what they want to get rid of and what they don't. So look in your opponent's hand, you now rip their hand down to 2, and you know exactly what they've got apart from the 1 card they're going to draw for turn. So now that we're in this position here, all you want is another card that can let you discard, and you can build on from there. We still have Mutiny in the Sky to use, and at the moment we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Fiends in the graveyard. Let me just double check. The loose is just... yeah, 3 Fiends in the graveyard. So if I want to, I can use Mutiny in the Sky and get loose in one of these spots, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So we're just going to use the Grepher and the Jackalope. We're just going to regain as much resource as possible. We're then going to go into the Muckraker from the Underworld. We're going to use Muckraker's effect here. We're going to discard via effect. To be honest, like, I could get the Genta back, but I can also just get Snow back. It would be pretty useful here. We still haven't even used the special summon of Skuldred. So it doesn't really matter what we do here. Like, the best thing you could discard would be the Rainbow. And the reason you would do that is you resolve the Muckraker. Muckraker then brings back Snow that you're going to want to loop back for resource. You resolve the Rainbow, and the reason for this one is we now get to search out our gold. I could actually search out Original Rainbow, which would be kind of cool, because then I can go into Colourless during my opponent's turn. So I go Original Rainbow, I can go for Colourless. But the other option that I was going to go for is that you go for gold, so that during your opponent's turn, you turn Grepher's effect into Destroy 2, which is really good. But now, keeping in mind, they've got 2 cards in their hand. They top that, they activate 1. I turn this with Silver, and then Silver makes them loop 2. So now what we get to do is you get to loop the Snow back to the hand for the Rainbow, and then Rainbow back to the hand for the Grepher. So our hand is, like, pretty stacked right now. We are going to need to discard one of these, or we need to special summon one off of Cerulli. Trying to think if there's anyone worth actually special summoning, to be honest with you. Because if you special on this, it just nukes itself, so it's not really worth it. I don't really need to play the loose, to be honest, either. I mean, I could do if I wanted to. The only benefit of that one is I'd activate Mutiny. I'll put the 3 Fiends back, being the Gardes, Buzz King, and let's put Genta back into the deck. So put Genta back into the deck. These 2 go back over here. We make it loose. I can use loose effect to target my own Cerulli, destroy my own Cerulli, send in a Fiend from deck to grave. So we'll just send a Rainbow. And then, depends if I want to special summon a monster. There is no benefit in special summoning a monster, because I'm going to need to discard anyway, but I could special summon down the Rainbow. doesn't really do a lot for me, but we then get to the end phase. We need to discard a card, so these are all here. I could add Mutiny back, I guess. So Mutiny would be in the graveyard. I could send Greffa to add the Mutiny back to the hand. I mean, it doesn't do anything. I still got to discard the Guardian in the end phase. But basically what we have here is that during our opponent's turn, right, they've got 2 cards because we talents them when we made them silver. They draw 1 card for turn. They activate that 1 card for turn. As long as it is a monster effect, normal spell, or normal trap, we activate the Greffa Dragon Overlord. We discard silver. Silver would summon back and then make them put those final 2 cards back into the deck. So then they've been completely hand-ripped. They can't do anything. Skuldred has already made this one bigger. And even if they were to present a field, I can activate the Accession to then fusion summon a Fiend by banishing materials mentioned it from the field or grave. So I banish the Rainbow, which is fine. I could then banish my entire graveyard or just whatever Fiend monsters I have on the field and just make a fat stack colourless that's going to clear the field off. So you do get a lot of flexibility on that one. And yeah, I think that works out really nicely. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do another test stand going first. But this time, that test stand is going to be a lot more negative in regards to like what type of interactions our opponent can have that could actually interact with what we're trying to do. Like the best thing they could probably have done in that first hand is like Ash the Genta might have made it a little bit more awkward for some of the plays we were trying to make. So after another decent shuffle and a good old cut, our starting hand going first will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bloody Gates! I still don't want to see Gates in my hand. I think like seeing Gates is terrible. We're going to set the Troll Tactics first. I kind of feel like I want to set the Gates, and the reason I want to do that is I want to reveal Danger Nessie. There's only 1 card I could hit with this hand of 3 that I wouldn't want to be hitting. Like if I hit Nessie, I just replace it with a Mothman. If I don't hit Nessie and I hit Snow, that's the best possible outcome. And if I hit Gates, that's probably the worst outcome. So we hit the Snow, which is perfect. So Nessie summons, we draw off of Nessie, Mothman, nice. Now Snow's effect lets us grab a Dark World card. I would love to have grabbed Genta, but we opened up both the bloody Gates. So let's go with... Is Rainbow going to be the most effective? I think maybe it is. Snow. Total one shooting approach, go add a Dark World card from the deck to the hand. I mean, Snow could technically add itself, so I'd basically just be deck thinning, which is kind of worth it because then what we'll do is we'll shuffle this up anyway. We might as well deck thin. We'll use this gate, we'll banish the first Snow, discard the second Snow, draw a card. First Snow goes off, second Snow goes off, gets the third Snow. Oh, this is a weird position to be in, like you should never really be in a position like this. But replace this gate, use that gate, banish the second Snow, discard the third Snow, draw off of that, Snow's effect, grabs us a Dark World card. What do we go for here? Like, Cerulean just doesn't have anything to discard right now. It's just not really worth it. Probably needs to be a Rainbow, if I'm being totally honest with you. Has to be Rainbow, because at least if Rainbow gets discarded, it gets us some value. So I would actually use Catalyzer here, reveal itself from Rainbow, discarding the Rainbow, and in doing so, grabbing us a gold or silver. I suppose the only thing we haven't got now is direct access to... probably could have been a Greffa, actually. Maybe it should have been a Greffa. It hasn't given us direct access to Cerulean. That's our biggest issue now, is trying to get access to Cerulean. So I'm going to set the True Tactics first. I'm going to reveal Mothman. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like, if I hit Mothman, great. If I don't hit Mothman... if I don't hit Mothman, that's okay, because then I get a rank 4 play. If I do hit Mothman, again, it's not the end of the world. Could have been a little bit better if I hit Mothman, because then I can make a rank 4, but we'll just go this one. So we hit the Mothman. Both players draw, both players discard. Chupacabra. Ooh, interesting. Let's discard the silver. Silver would then summon itself back to the field. You would then be able to use Rainbow to put the silver back to the hand and add the gold back to the field. And then we'll reveal Chupacabra. Again, the benefit is what you're trying to do here is like, if I hit Chupacabra, that's great. Mothman comes back, I still get the rank 4 Dagaras. Like, we're basically in the phase where you have to keep drawing. Droll would suck, but that's just like everything with Dark Worlds. So don't hit that. So Chupacabra summons, we draw, Silver summons. There's nothing we can do with Silver right now, but what we will do is we're going to go for the draws now. So we're going to have to overlay this one. We're going to go into Dagaras, use Dagaras' effect, detach 2, draw 2, discard 1. Well, that gent is slightly annoying. We'll discard the Rainbow. Rainbow's effect triggers, grab us Greffer. Then we return Silver to the hand for Rainbow. You can now go into Buzz King if you want to. The benefit of this one, again, remember we haven't used our normal summon yet. So Buzz King, effect, look at our opponent's extra deck, just take away their most important card. Reveal Nessie here. Now we haven't discarded Nessie, and you can keep revealing dangers as many times as you like, even on the draw and Lockbird, because the outcome isn't confirmed. But the only reason you do that is if you really want to trigger one of their discard effects. So we'll go for this one here. It is the Nessie. So Nessie's effect lets us add. Now the issue with this is I'm pretty sure we've gone through, like we could take Mothman, but if we hit Mothman we don't do anything. So I'd probably go for Jackalope is probably the best one you can go for here. So reveal the Jackalope. Again, you could normal summon, but I don't think there's anything on hand that we want to normal summon right now. Like the next play we've got is Skuldred Saruja, and that's still pretty good to go for anyway. So we'll take the third one as well, which will be this one. So reveal the Jackalope. It's not the Jackalope, which is great. Also another note, always make sure you've got 2 main zones free when you reveal a danger, because if you do discard a Silver, you want to make sure it comes back to the field, otherwise that would suck. We'll then return the Silver back to the hand for our Rainbow. Now at this position here, I would go, I could get this back to the hand, which might be worth doing. And the reason we do that is you go 1, 2, I mean, it's not ideal, but a Cassic can then return this back to the hand, which means we've got a danger to reveal. And then we can set the card destruction. I mean, you could use the card destruction, but I would probably do that after the Jackalope resolves, because then if Jackalope resolves, great. And even if it doesn't, you've still got 4 monsters on the field with different names, so you can go into a Saruja, and then that still freshens up your hand as well. The only thing we've got here is we're going to get to a point where we can get to Ceruli, but the only discard, I mean, it would still be fine, because the discard we would have for Ceruli would be Muckraker. So we hit Silver again. Jackalope summons, draw a card off Jackalope. Silver summons. We can then return Silver to the hand for Rainbow. There we go. So we've still got a Session. A Session can play a big part in the second as well. Card Destruction's set. It's not... Personally, don't think Card Destruction's worth using there. I would much rather go... let's go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go into Skuldred Saruja. Draw 4, put 3 back. 1, 2, 3, 4. That goes back. That goes back. And I would still keep the Nessie as the danger reveal. Probably the Quackimira Guardian. Like at this point, it's not worth it. Like I can still use my normal summon, but if I don't do anything with it, I don't go anywhere. I could still afford to reveal the Nessie, I think, because even if I discard the Accession still gets me somewhere, so that's not the end of the world. I've already used the Nessie discard, so now I want to try and bury the Nessie so that it doesn't get hit with the discard, which it doesn't. Silver again, cool. Silver summons, Nessie summons, draw a card. Silver can return to the hand, I believe. Yeah, we've still got Rainbow. So return the Silver to the hand for the Rainbow. Like our resource is just going crazy. Now we're still in a good position because we've still got the ability to use a Session. A Session will then discard 2. Now I'm going to get rid of these 2 to get these both in the graveyard. This would then allow me to go into the Greffer Dragon. This will then allow me to trigger Greffer as chaining 1, Rainbow's chaining 2. Rainbow will then allow me to add either a second Greffer, or in this scenario I'm going to go for the original Rainbow. I can then return a Rainbow back to the hand for a Greffer. And then I don't really want to use Card Destruction. because it would summon silver and gold, and there just isn't space for silver and gold on the field. So you probably just want to clear off some space first. Let's go for... I can either go IP Masquerena and play it safe, or I can go Muckraker and play it. Yeah, let's go Muckraker. Let's put these two. Always put Greffer in the graveyard, because then you can always gain back some resource by bringing back the Greffer. Activate card destruction. So we get rid of all 5 of these, and we draw 5 new ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really? Sorry for the glare, guys, but 3 Genta, and then a Session and Mutiny. You're like, okay, bro. This one would then allow us to trigger rainbows to search, silver and gold to summon. I don't think there's anything left. Like, this is all that's left of the deck. Take a Greffer. I don't think there's any more draw. I mean, I can shuffle loads back now anyway. That's not a big issue. We can return... I'm pretty sure I can return silver and gold. I'm pretty sure there's 2 rainbows in the graveyard. Yeah. 2 rainbows in the graveyard. Oh, I could have also special summon back the original rainbow as well. I forgot that does that. I don't think there's anything more left to really do, to be honest. This is just going to be like a bit of an odd field, because we'll get rid of these 2. We'll put these 2 into... I mean, not a bad field, but it will be quite a good field. We haven't used Muckraker's effect yet, so we're still good with that. That can come back to the hand for the Greffer. Muckraker can discard. You don't really want to discard silver or gold, so not really search anything back off a rainbow. I could loop some resource round, but that's not really worth it. IP might as well be saved for a Bower Q during your opponent's turn. So, if I use Muckraker, what do I even want to... There's not really anything I want to discard for Muckraker, to be honest. There's nothing I want to add back. I could add back a Snow and get that back into rotation, but that's honestly not worth it. So, I've got this whole hand of cards. Let's activate Mutant in the Sky. Let's just make sure we don't deck out. So let's put back... You can put back your extra deck ones if you want to, but let's put Snow back. Let's put one of the rainbows back, and let's put Chupacabra back. There we go. Put those 3 back. Let's go for loose. Mutiny in the Sky has been used. We'll set a session, and then end phase. Discard a Genta. So as we pass to our opponent's turn, yes, they've got a full hand of 5. Yes, they're going to draw 1 more for turn. But what we actually have here is we've got Greffer. Probably want to clear some space off first, to be honest. I haven't even used Muckraker yet, but Muckraker can now be used during your opponent's turn. So you'd go during your opponent's turn, IP Masquerena. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So those 4 to go together will go into a Bower Q. You've now got the ability of a Bower Q, discard and destroy. Then you've got the ability of Greffer Dragon to change. So you either go for gold to pop 2, or you go for silver to rip 2. So let's say a Bower Q deals with the first one, this one deals with the second one, so that gets rid of your opponent's 6 cards. They've now got 3 to play with. You've then got a Session that can then be used to go into colourless if you want to. So colours can then clear a field off. So you've still got loads you want to go to, and these all being fiends as well give them a nice buff attack from the Gate of the Dark World. Obviously it's not perfect, but what you can also see with this hand is you're also being shown how the deck can dig a lot. Now we know Draw and Lockbird is an absolute pain to deal with. There is no doubt in my mind how much of a pain Draw is to deal with it. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. But with Draw now at 2, like the likelihood of your opponent having Draw on a consistent basis is of course going to be a lot less. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a final test hand, but this time we're going to go second. So as you see with Dark Worlds, they don't play a lot of go second cards. Not a lot of hand interactions, but they do like to play a lot of gas. So what we'll do is we'll shuffle up, we'll cut up, and we'll do our opening hand now of 6, starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 being our last card. Now this hand is actually pretty crazy. So we've got Guardian, we've got Greffer, we've got Gold, we've got Bigfoot. All of these cards, or at least these three, are your aggressive go second cards. So what I would do here is I'd go standby, main, normal summon down Guardian. This now means that any monster effect your opponent wants to activate is going to trade 1-for-1 with the Quackimuru Guardian. I then also feel that with a hand like this, you've got two options. You can activate the Dark World of Session, and the benefit of this one is you'd actually be able to discard, you could discard Gold and Greffa, which would get you a bit more resource, or you could discard Greffa and Bigfoot. The reason you would discard these two here is that going into your Greffa Dragon, you'll be able to trigger both of the effects. So you'd go Greffa and Bigfoot to destroy two cards. So straight away, you're a session, and if they try to interact with your session, you just go Quackimuru Guardian to make sure that it resolves. Because in doing so, you get to destroy two cards. The only downside of this is if you chose to use silver, you'd be able to loop the silver resource back to the hand. So now what you would be doing is you'd reveal Jackalope and you go for a 50-50 option. Or you just go, first off, add the session back by discarding the gold. Gold summons itself back, add the gold back to the hand, summon back the Greffa. So you've looped back one resource if you really want your Jackalope to resolve. So we'll reveal the Jackalope, we'll try and resolve this. Obviously Jackalope will summon, which it can get a rank for, but you don't really want to use the Quackimuru Guardian. So we'll go for the middle one as always. It's not Jackalope, probably the best one we could have got, to be honest. Jackalope summons, draws, silver summons, no draw of course. So now what you want to do is you want to get the Greffa off the field. So I guess the next play you can make is, I'm going to go Muckraker so early. And this is now in a really awkward position because I could have gone Cross Sheep, but then I would need the fusion to kind of sit here, which isn't the end of the world either way, really. So we'll put those two there. We then bring the gold back to the hand. No, it's right. I was right on my first instinct. You don't go Cross Sheep, just go into Muckraker. The reason you do that is you bring the gold back to the hand for your Greffa. Now, do I have to have... I'm pretty sure I need to have a target. Target a fiend monster in your graveyard except itself. Discard a card. So I need to have a fiend in the graveyard, which I don't at this exact moment in time. So I guess maybe I now need to sacrifice... no, I don't. I haven't normal summoned yet, really. I can normal summon the snow. I still need to sacrifice the Quackimuru Guardian, but detach 2, draw 2. Pretty good, actually. Discard 1 being the gold. Gold will summon its... Ooh. No, let's just discard the Yugioh. Why would I discard this gold? Centigrade, add Mutiny in the Sky from the deck to the hand. So use the effect of Yugioh, add Mutiny in the Sky. Now, keep in mind that what I'm trying to say is the Guardian would have traded 1-for-1, and then you popped 2 with Bigfoot and Greffa. So like you're in a really good position. Then we've got Genta, so you discard the Genta. Haven't used Muckraker yet, remember that. Gets you Gates. Where are you, Gates? There we go. One time I don't want to, like, I didn't want to see you, or wanted to see you, you're buried. So we'll shuffle this up. Then we use Gate. Gate banish Genta. Discard gold. Draw a card. Effect of Genta, chain link 1 and gold chain link 2. Summon back Genta, summon back gold. Not got anything in the graveyard as yet to return, which is absolutely fine. Now we can go into... Go in SP. I personally wouldn't use the effect of SP, but I'd be using... Oh, wrong 2. Oh, placement. Bad placement. Yeah, alright. Well, I don't want to use SP's effect, so... Oh, this is the worst placement. It should be this. It should really be this. And the reason for that is you'd go these two into SP, and then you return the Genta to the hand for your Greffa. Genta again lets you get access to a second gate. There we go. I still need a fiend to discard, so don't worry. Don't want a mutiny. I don't really want a mutiny yet. I don't really want a Muckraker yet either, to be honest. No. Probably could have played that a little bit better. I didn't really do that as good as it could have been. Having Muckraker kind of stuck there isn't so helpful. I thought Muckraker should have been the one to go for, but maybe it would have been better to be... Maybe instead of Muckraker, it's IP. And then this would go here. That would kind of free up my zones a little bit. Still doesn't help me perfectly, but you'd go these two together. Would get into... Probably now gets into Muckraker. Clearing some space off. I still need that card in the hand for the discard though, really, as well. I mean, I'm kind of overdoing it a bit. Because you probably don't need all of these. But I can get the Fiend back to the hand. Because what you do is you go discard a card. Being the... Oh, I already normal summon. So yeah, get rid of the Quaking Mirror Guardian. Bring back Snow. Snow gets added back to the hand for Greffer. I'm now locked into Fiends because I've used Muckraker. We use the second Gate's effect. We banish a Fiend from the graveyard, being the Genta. Discard the Snow. Draw a card. Snow's effect searches. Snow can get you Rainbow. Your opponent definitely has a monster on the field, so you can go Thrust. You can do whatever you want here, really. This can't be used as link material, but these two can. So I could clear those off if I wanted to. So we'll go... I haven't used SP's effect, so we'll use all of these. We are Fiend locked, which is fine, because we'll go into the About queue. And then what we can do here is we can go Mutiny in the Sky, put 3 back. So let's put back... How many Fiends have I got, though? Quite a lot, actually. And they're all... So we'll put 1... how many do I want for colourless, really? I mean, it doesn't need to use as many materials. But you'd go... You could put 1, 2, 3... Gets you loose. And then you'd go Accession, discard, and banish to get you colourless at 3k. And then Rainbow would summon itself back. Oh wait, I've already used Accession. I can't use colourless. Apologies. Banishing materials mentioned. Double monster, you can also discard monsters during the main phase. You can only use each effect once per turn. Yeah, okay, cool. So I can't actually do that. So you'd still have loose. This would still be in the hand. This would still be in the hand. These two would still be in the graveyard. But I could still use Bow Q. Discard, then activate. So we could use Bow Q, discard a card, activate the effect, bring back Greffer, gold, add gold back to the hand for Greffer. And then, like I said, you probably already have, like, Triple Tactics Thrust is probably well and truly active. I could also use Mutiny in the Sky. No, I needed to get this to the graveyard. But either way, you've got 35 there, you've got 3k there, you've got 38 there, you've got 13 there. And if, like I said, you've got Thrust that could have got you pretty much anything. So you could go on Talents and Stolen. You've got the Bow Q that's going to come back into play. And then you've still got this to be a gold pop too as well. So still really, really good. And that opening was pretty crap. Like I said, getting access to Bigfoot and also getting access to Greffer and Accession is why I quite like playing 2 Accession in this build. It really does help the deck out. So that's pretty much it for the entire video. Sorry about the glare a little bit. Like I said, I'm not in my normal recording environment. Otherwise, that would have been a lot easier. But yeah, let me know. I love Dark Worlds. I love what they do. I love the RNG factor. I'm hoping that one day we'll get cards that can replace the the dangers, so that Dark Worlds can be more pure. Which is why I quite like playing. I quite like playing the original Rainbow, but that, again, that's just preference. You don't have to play that. I just like the option of colourless to go second is really kind of cool. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.